This journal right here was a game changer, and this is what helped me get more organized with journaling and helped me become a writer. It helped me become a published author. So this journal is crazy for me. I have so many journals, it kind of feels like a problem. So I've been journaling and writing for about 10 years now, and I thought it might be interesting to share what exactly I write in my journals. My process for journaling has grown over the years. They've become a little more specific and intentional. When I started journaling, I just had spiral bound notebooks that I would just fill up with any sort of thoughts, lecture notes, sermon notes, had everything. And over the years, I've kind of become a little bit more organized with my writing. So in this video, I just want to share what it is I put in my journals. So these 3 journals, along with a box of spiral bound notebooks, is just kind of my catch-all where I just write all my thoughts in journals throughout the years. I believe it's this journal where I really made the switch from just doing spiral bound notebooks to a little bit of a nicer journal. This one I started back in 2020. See, I wasn't super organized back then. I didn't write dates and things like that down. Now I'm pretty intentional about writing dates and trying to figure out when I wrote these things. But there's almost no dates in here, but I know I started this in 2020. And so in these journals, I write thoughts and convictions and just anything that I feel like writing, I'll put it in these. I love doing it. I still do it. But one problem with this is that it is easy to lose things. I have thoughts all over the board, and if I want to find something, then I just kind of have to go page by page through the journal that I think it is in, which can be difficult. All right, so you can already tell with this journal, I get a little bit more specific, and so I've got dates and things like that in here. This is pretty much mid-2022 to 2023, and these are just all my thoughts. It's a little bit of everything, a lot of journals from scripture and just convictions of my heart, goals for my life. And so just a little bit of everything in here. These are my thoughts, but also things I learned from other people. So these journals just have a little bit of everything in them. From here, I'm gonna move into some journals that are a bit more specific. All right, so all of these journals and some other journals that I have are journals for a very specific topic, and I'm just gonna briefly go through what they are. Okay, I'm gonna start with these. These are some small journals. I like these little pocket-sized journals. This journal right here was a game changer, and this is what helped me get more organized with journaling and helped me become a writer. It helped me become a published author. So this journal is crazy for me, and this is my 2017 Appalachian Trail through hike journal. So when I hiked the Appalachian Trail, I journaled a page a day. At first, I kept track of the miles, I kept track of the date, and I would just write in my tent a few thoughts that I had. This is from 143 days. I journaled almost every day. It helps show me the importance of journaling because I forgot a bunch of things that happened on trail. And then I can read this and it jogs my memory and makes so many amazing experiences come back to me. So this is an incredible journal that I love, and it's well worn. Look, there's even, on day 17, there's even a squashed bug from the year 2017 that I carry around with me wherever I go. There's a lot of great things in here, like squashed bugs. The best part is actually in the back, which is my poop tally. Anytime I had to dig a hole in the woods, I would draw a little doodle to remember it. So this is a great treasure of mine, my trail journal. All my trail stuff is in here, and I have published my first book on the Appalachian Trail, Essentials of the Christian Hike, where I take stories from this to help illustrate what I see as the basics of the Christian faith. But I have other books I have written and are working on with this, and just need to figure out how I want to go through publishing those, all that. So working on my trail journal right now. Here's an old copy of the trail journal. So I'm working on getting it published. Just editing some, it's pretty confusing. This stuff was to jog my memory, so I'm adding commentary to it, and then I just want to publish it for anybody that wants some fun stories. But also, it's trivial stuff, and then it gets real deep real quick. So It's kind of crazy. It'll take you on a wild ride. But anyway, so that's that. Along those lines, so this is kind of like my new trail journal, but it's for missions and ministry. So I led a mission trip to Austria, and then I went on a mission trip to Brazil in the Amazon, took a boat ride to different villages. And so this kind of tracks my, oh wow, there's a bug in this one too. So that's probably an Amazon bug or something. Actually, so I take that back. It's not just missions, but it's another adventure and missions book. So I've got some backpacking trips in here. So I should have had one for adventure and one for missions, but that's not a big deal. So there's that book. So this book right here, my wife and I, we've been married for coming up on 6 years. Crazy. So when we started dating, I knew that I wanted to marry her, and so I started writing down different thoughts and dates and memories together with her, desires for the future and for life. And so I started recording them all in here, and then on our wedding day, I gave her this journal. And so this was a pretty cool journal to give to her. These two journals, kind of similar. Let's see, this one is a journal that is tracking kind of my writing journey, just different thoughts, what I'm learning, what I'm going through, conversations with people. It's tracking my journey as a writer and lessons I'm learning. And then this is a journal for just kind of what I'm learning through posting things on YouTube and the journey of that. So I love tracking what I learn and my process and my progress, because it's so cool to go back and read how far I've come. If I didn't keep track of these things, then it doesn't feel like you make leaps and bounds. But then when you look back and you read like where I was 2 years ago and what I wanted to accomplish, it's so cool and refreshing and encouraging to read those things and see I have come a long way in these things. So I want to track all this, and even nobody may care, nobody may read this stuff, but I just think it's good to keep track of my life and how I spend my time. I don't want to just waste it, but I want to invest it in things, and the journals help me with that. This right here is one of my favorite journals, and it is a prayer journal. So I started this years ago, and it's just when I feel like I just have this deep prayer that I want to get out, lament or just praising God, or just some deep conviction, just want something off my chest that I want to pray to God about, then I'll write it in here. So this is a prayer journal that I am filling up, and this is one of my most prized possessions, and it's a nice journal. I love how the edges are frayed. I love the leather, the wrapping. I used to not be able to write in them because I was like, this is too nice. I don't have anything to say in here. But now I'm just willing to dive right into it. Even if it's sloppy handwriting and all that, it's fine. You get used to it as you start writing. So my prayer journal right there, this is a great one. All right, so I feel like that kind of wraps up just the specific journals. And now we're gonna move into the third and final part of this, which is journals that are specific for books. And so all of these are journals that I have that I am writing a book or notes for a book in. These are $1 at Walmart, and they're not daunting. They're small, so it's not like I have to fill up 1,000 pages or anything. There's some sermons I'm turning into books, some fiction books for fun that I'm working on. This is actually a continuation of one of these. I started in this, a fiction book, but then I continued it in here. Once I was scared of trying to get it going, and once I really got the story going, I was like, I need a lot of pages. So I started working in here, and so I've written one book out of this series that I want to write 7, and just trying to figure out editing and what I want to do with it. I got this journal, and it has a picture of a tree on it, and I was like, what can I write in here? It's so beautiful. And so I started a book on what it means to be grafted into the family of God. This is a journal. It might look girly. That's because I stole it from my wife. When you run out of journals, you're like, okay, what can I write in? Well, this was around, so I started writing in it. But this is just tons of different thoughts on end times, what the Bible says about it, for a book I want to publish someday on what the Bible teaches about end times. And then lastly, this is a commentary of the book of Romans that I started. So again, I've got so many journals that it's hard to, I want to write in all of them. And I would love to spend time writing each day in my journals, but I have so many and it gets overwhelming. And so lately I've been kind of more writing on note cards and then filing those away. But I have just loved the journey of becoming a writer, and I love seeing my journals on the shelf. There's nothing sweeter than filling up a journal. These journals right here are completely full, and it's nice to know like I stuck with it. I kept writing until the journal was full, and that feels great to me. I've accomplished something. All right, so I hope you enjoyed this little video, just kind of briefly what is in my journals. If you have any specific questions about one of the journals or how I got into journaling or anything like that, feel free to drop it in the comments, and would love to make a video about that. Grab a notebook and start writing every day. Writing, I believe, is such a healthy habit that many people don't do. I believe that reading and writing just greatly sharpens our minds, how we think, how we articulate. I didn't think I could be a writer, and that was one thing that kept me back in the early stages. But now I just don't ask the question whether I can be a writer. I just write. And I think that's the most important thing, just write. When you have this many journals, you just get stuck in the habit of journaling, and you can't help but write all the time. I can't sleep because I get up to write notes on note cards. That's what I have, note cards everywhere of just thoughts. It's almost like my new way of journaling. We'll see if it is good or not.